And this is how we start our next morning, folks. Got a hot air balloon. He's hauling, man. Came from all the way over there to over here in about a minute and then started nose diving. Looks like they're picking up some altitude again. And there is...
Getting supplies.
Yep, got to get the supplies together for our whole plan today.
Hear that?
Yeah, big flame. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully that's a good sign of things to come today. So stay tuned. Today we're going to be cleaning off the paint and cleaning the roof to prep it for the RV roof man. And then we're going to put the lag screws in the wall later if time permits to prep that to get the brackets mounted on the wall for the batteries on Tuesday. So stay tuned. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, Julia and I are up on the roof. We're actually removing this old TV antenna so that we can prep this surface here for a single entry solar gland port, and this is going to be where our Starlink cable is going to go into the RV, and it's going to run over there because the mount that we have goes up onto the ladder so that we can mount it and face it this direction. That's the direction that it needs to face, so it'll be kind of perfect. Since there's already a hole there, we don't really need to mess with creating any new holes. And the hole is a lot smaller than we thought it was going to be, so I don't need to use the sheet metal, I don't think. The solar entry gland might be too small, so we'll just have to wait and see. If it is, I do have a piece of sheet metal ready to go, a piece of aluminum sheet to go on that, and to make that port smaller. Because after we get this done, we also need to go and clean these paint radius caps, get them prepped. We actually got all of our equipment for the RV Roofman product, and so once we get this all prepped and ready to go, our next little project is going to be putting the RV Roofman down on this surface and get ready for solar panels. We have our 4 320 watt panels and one of the 200 watt panels, and the other 4 are on their way. So stay tuned for the journey. Okay, so we got the fish tape pulled through thanks to Julia's lovely navigation skills of pounding on the roof so that I could figure out where it was. And we got the thing completely run.
Wrong. That's the USB-C end that's going to get...
Pulled through, yes.
Maybe not. Because this is the side that's coming out of the solar gland, not going into the...
Yeah, it needs to go the other way. So we'll be right back after this little break. And we're back. So after much intelligent discussion, absolutely no expletive deletives at all, and a little bit of tape cutting and re-glanding and all of that good stuff, we now have the gland on there correctly. We have the wire facing the right way. We've got the slack tied off on the back. And now we should be ready to pull the wire through. So let's go get that taken care of. Okay, so now she's pulling it through. There we go. So that's stripped out. Now we'll go ahead and get the little area cleaned off, and then we can go ahead and stick it down. really important. You want to make sure you use some denatured alcohol and get the surface very, very clean. Not necessarily spotless, but you want to make sure the surface is clear of debris and things like that, because otherwise you're going to have problems. So we're going to basically stick this down, put a couple screws in it, and then we've got our RV Roofman product to seal it down real well, and then should be good. Because we had to get this done today because we really want to get up here and clean the roof with some soap and water and get that paint and everything off and get it ready to go. So, and there was our Furrion Chill Cube kicking into high gear.
Okay. Now we seal the deal.
And of course, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, so. This side so that I can get in there. Get a nice little.
Make sure you seal these too.
Yep.
This is where we took our antenna off. So we're sealing up all of the holes.
Stretch out that cable for me, so it's straight going the other way. I'm going to put some sealant on that too. So we're going to bond it to the roof so it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, we're not worried about perfection on this, guys, because we're going to be putting that RV coating right over the top of this. So
just don't step in any of it.
Yeah, so what we want to do.
I don't want it super stretched.
Yeah.
But like right here is fine.
So there.
That should be it.
Okay. Several spots, basically.
And we're laying this out based on our prior taping where the panels are going to lay, so this will lay underneath our solar panels, and I would leave the rest of it for now.
Yeah.
We can take care of that after the fact once we got.
Yeah, I mean, we literally, I've got 1.5 feet of extra space, so sealing this guy right here is not going to be a problem. Got almost 2 feet of slack cable right there, so want to make dang sure that there's enough sealant on these to hold them down. Which there should be more than enough.
Mm-hmm. Look at it do its flat thing.
Gonna put a little bit more on this side over here since I can't handle them.
Well, you could just make sure it's not piled up so high that
go, folks. Now we finally have that project done.
Right? We were on vacation this week, so we've been lacking a little.
Yeah, the only thing we really got to do is we still have to get a Ziploc bag and wrap that Starlink cable.
Yeah.
Because we're not putting the Starlink up right away. We still got to go inside and finish running the cable.
Yeah. This piece.
So that we can actually use it.
So that we can keep this dry until we get it plugged into the Starlink. Because these little pieces here are what keep it waterproof when it's plugged into the satellite dish itself. And that's it for now until we get inside.
Okay, so we pulled these lights and got the wire down through the ceiling, and then very ever so patiently and carefully used her teeny little wrist to reach up in that hole while I was fish taping one by one up through there, because there's bulkheads in here and there's little bitty holes that the existing wires are running through in this. So it was just a matter of finding the hole, getting it through there, and then her grabbing it. And then the miracle is right in here. There's an existing hole right here from an old light when I did this lighting project. You can go back and look at the prior videos. But I was able to magically get the fish tape from here all the way over here and find its way through this bulkhead, and she was able to grab that, and we were able to pull the wire through. So now we worked the wire all the way over here, which we're going to use cable fasteners, or we've got our zip ties with the little screw heads on it, and we'll zip tie it up out of the way so you can't see it. The last part of the miracle here is I've got to drill a little hole in the wall right there and run the wire all the way down with the fish tape to this old wine guard setup, which hopefully she doesn't zap herself because it still has 12 volt on it. So we haven't.
I'm touching the plastic.
We haven't disconnected it yet, but
because there's the red cable right there.
Yes, but we're going to pull that, and that's where we're going to run the wire from this down here, and we have our USB kit right here, which will convert that 12 volt over to USB-A, USB-C, and a cigarette lighter plug. And it even has a little meter that tells you what the voltage is, and then we'll be able to plug this Starlink into that. And that will complete the project, except for the actual Starlink installation and setup, which we can do that at a later time, and we'll make a whole video on that, because we've never actually done it before. We've seen lots of videos online about how easy it is, but we've never actually done it the special way that we like to do things. So,
right. Well, we're kind of perfectionists. So be like, could we have just run a bunch of wires outside the walls and maybe hidden them with trim? Sure, but is that the right way to do it? No. No.
Yeah.
No.
So.
I got a teeny tiny wrist. I can put it where it belongs. It's out of sight. It's beautiful.
Well, that and they put holes in here to begin with, so why not use the ones they've already got? So the only exception to that rule is going to be when we have to do the solar wire for the 2 solar strings, because we're going to use the plumbing stack for that. So, yeah. Which is pretty common. I don't want to drill any new holes in the roof, which I could easily do. I just don't want to. So we will have to see what we see when we pull that stack off. I haven't decided if I'm going to run it inside the stack, like I've seen some people do, or if maybe we'll just go to Camping World, buy a new stack, and then just pull that off and run the wire down next to the stack, and then use the solar gland similar to the one we installed today, except it's a double. And I just have to get 2 of those and basically run them. Yeah, the little cap. Replace the vent cap, and then so we'll figure that part out when we get there. So stay tuned for the surprise on that.
For future us.
So let's go ahead and get this guy wrapped up. We'll get this wire run down through so that you can see what everything looks like once we got the wire down here, and then we'll show you another clip of it all, giving us our digital readouts and everything. So stay tuned. Okay. He's in. I'll trim this guy off. Just like that. Because I do need him. And then this guy will fit like that. I will obviously have to make a spacer here. Which I might.
We don't have any material, but...
Yeah, except that sheet metal.
Oh, God.
No.
That'd be too difficult to work with.
I'm trying to think. Did I keep any other pieces?
Mm-mm. Threw it all away.
We kept some cardboard and carpet. Cardboard.
Well, are you going to put the cable plate back on? I think I threw those screws in this bag.
No, we're gonna go get the standard,
the blank plate.
The blank plate with the dual
to cover it.
Yeah. We'll get the dual.
Well, we gotta go to Lowe's anyway to get that, so let's just figure something out there and make the faceplate out of that.
Yeah, I just got to make the spade. I'll make the spades and get this plugged in and tested so that we know it works.
And get the wire run down.
And then we can just run like some masking tape over this for now, so that the cats don't mess with it.
Yeah.
And yeah. So,
Okay. Because it's starting to get hot outside. I don't think I want to go back up on the roof and try cleaning.
No, we'll do that. We can do that in the
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we'll do it in the morning. So.
Okay.
So we got the wires hooked up, got them insulated, and now when I hit the button, you can see we got voltage.
Ooh.
So if I wanted to right now, just as a test, you can actually plug in.
My phone behind you?
In there, there's a...
In here? Or
I'm not
in
plugging in yours. I don't have no Thunderbolt. USB-C cable right here. And we'll plug this in, and now she can plug the phone in. And it should beep. Push. You know.
It shows it's...
Yep.
I don't... It showed that it was charging.
Okay.
It's working!
So there we go. So now we got to get this cable down there, and then we got to get our faceplate and everything so that we can make that...
Beautify it.
Yeah. And get
Make it sexy.
And get a cover plate for that to retire that whole section. So
Yes.
yay. Okay, so we had to get a little creative here. This is the satellite cable, and we thought originally we'd drill a hole up there, but it turns out there's actually some aluminum bracing right here, so I had to make a second hole down here, so I'll now have to plug that hole up there, which is fine. But we had to use one of our cat toys, a nice little blue string. It's his favorite string, so we'll have to take it to the laundry and wash it because it's got fiberglass in here, and we definitely don't want him playing with that till we clean it. So now Julia is going to ever so carefully, I'm going to try and feed this knot through. Hang on.
I'm not pulling it.
Go ahead and tug a little bit. Oh, there we go. And now I'm trying to feed it while she pulls it through until we get where we need, because there's all sorts of wires and stuff in that wall. And voila.
Oh yeah.
There it is. So,
That worked.
yep. So, keep tugging. Just got to make sure we leave enough slack.
Hey, look, Dad.
Hang on, we just got to make sure we leave enough slack because I have to wrap and cable tie all the way. That's good for now.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So now we've got that. We'll be able to plug that in and get power to the Starlink now. We just have to go get our beauty panels and everything so we can clean this up and stand by for that part.
I demanded McDonald's.
Why did you demand McDonald's?
Because I'm the boss, and whatever I say goes.
As you can see, we're taking a little break because
I was getting hangry.
she was a lot hangry, not a little hangry. So yeah, we went and got our materials that we needed to custom make that plate. And McDonald's is right here, so we stopped to get it. But now, back to the show.
Woohoo!
Now, when I plug this guy in, boom, I'll have, and I suppose I can turn this guy off and plug him in. That way there's no current or anything, but yeah, I just notched that out on the top so that the wire would fit in there nice. Had a little bit of slack there for the loop so there's no tension, but we have another USB-A right here, and all we have to do is turn that guy on and we got voltage. All this is rounded out, Thanks to Julia, she sanded this real nice.
Mm-hmm.
And last bit is the
faceplate that I picked
which has to be moved because the holes are
to match
too big. Yeah.
the wall color, of course, which looks fantastic. However, the screws literally go right into the hole. So we gotta move it over a little. So now it is all done. Everything is closed up. You cannot see any of the wiring that we ran through the wall to our homemade panel where the USB connects, runs up through a solar gland in the roof, and we will attach our Starlink so we can begin using it. Ta-da!